This is a quick note that this video was written and recorded on February 14th. On February 16th, Arrowhead Studios released a statement covering the server issues players were facing. In light of bad connections and missing rewards, everyone was going to receive 50% more XP and requisitions. Because of that, thousands of players flocked to the game on Friday night, meaning that the servers got overloaded and you had to wait upwards of a few hours to get into the game. This video was not written with this incident in mind, of course, but that doesn't change the way I feel about what I cover here. I think it is important to understand that the devs are working around the clock on these issues. They obviously were not ready for this amount of traffic on their game, so let's be kind to them as they implement these changes and updates. Let's decide to be an understanding community that supports the real-life people who make wonderful games like Helldivers 2. I've seen nothing but support from the players of the game, and I think we should continue to do that. And that's the most important thing to remember here. Arrowhead Studios is full of people just like you and me, so let's be patient. Thanks. Hello and welcome, citizens of Super Earth. So, what exactly is going on with the matchmaking situation in Helldivers 2? There's been plenty of articles covering the issues, but if you've been playing the game on the regular, then I'm sure you're pretty familiar with this error message. I'm sure you've sat for a few minutes hitting the Find Game button over and over, just praying that you will connect to a squad. For me, it usually takes a good 3 to 4 minutes before I can finally connect to a game. But as a tip, make sure that if you are looking for a squad to play with, that you're on a planet that has a decent population of Helldivers active. This doesn't mean that you'll connect sooner, but it does at least mean that there are more active games to join. Now, Arrowhead Studios have been releasing patches for the game that claim to help the stability and matchmaking issues. I am 100% confident that the developers are working around the clock to figure out these issues. It's easy to see that Helldivers 2 has popped off as one of the most popular games of the new year, maybe even more popular than the developers and Sony were expecting. Arrowhead Studios recently announced that they are in a hiring frenzy to fill new positions in their studio. This is great news, as it means more people are coming onto the team to support the game and working on active bugs. And it's also great because we've been seeing so many layoffs in the game dev world these past 14 months. Sony is without a doubt keeping a close eye on Helldivers 2, as it is one of their first-party live service games to launch. Hopefully they see why Helldivers 2 has been such a huge success and take note in the future. Perhaps it would have been best for the game to have a beta period where the servers could have been tested. Maybe that's something Sony could roll out for their next live service game. But back to the matchmaking in-game. While again, I have not had much more luck in joining games, I do have hope. Once I do finally join a game, I usually try and stick with my squad as long as I can in hopes we stick together. And that's a part of the magic behind Helldivers 2. You can play in a squad without any voice communications and still have an understanding with your teammates. There is an unspoken bond between your brothers on the battlefield, as you all know that democracy must be spread. In terms of connectivity issues, I haven't seen anything alarming in the game. I've never dropped randomly from a lobby, and I haven't experienced any lag or slowdowns. Now, getting stuck on the procedurally generated map has happened to me a few times, but that's a topic for another video. The last thing I do want to mention is that I had troubles with purchasing rewards inside the war bond from time to time. Every now and then, I will buy an item with my medals, only for said item to still be available for purchase. The sound effect for the purchase plays, and my medals are used, but the item is not given to me. Thankfully though, after logging out and logging back in, my medals have returned and the item remains unpurchased. While the matchmaking issues with the game are unfortunate, they have not halted my in-game progress, nor dampened the amount of fun that I've been having. Playing Helldivers 2 solo is 100% viable because the game is just so good at the end of the day. So if you can't join into a match, you can still have fun. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the content. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the matchmaking and what you hope to see implemented in the future to help us out. And as always, go spread democracy.